Is Body, Mind, Spirit with me. I'm Jane. Thank you so much for taking the time and checking this out and tuning in. Please leave comments in the comment section so I can go back and read them because I enjoy them. So I hope you're super well wherever you are in this right now, wherever you are. My invitation is to take a couple of deep breaths because this is Body, Mind, Spirit. Let's just fill up the body with some oxygen. So just breathe in big and full. And when you exhale, let your shoulders just kind of soften. Every time you breathe in, let your chest and your belly expand. And every time you breathe out, let your jaw soften. I'll do one more really big full breath in and just relax the breath out. Just become really present in this now moment. That you get to have this body that does its own thing without you telling it what to do. And you have this mind, and it's brilliant. And you have this heart, the spirit, same Z's. So what a great gift we've all been given. So if you have been keeping up on the series that I am offering right now, this is the third episode, and I'm going into our energy centers of the body and sharing how they work with our physical body, our thoughts, how we've been conditioned, how traumas work with them. And then I'm offering different affirmations and tools to help to bring balance to these areas of our body, mind, and spirit. So by the end, hopefully, we'll feel more in alignment after watching all of these and all of that. So if you're just catching this one, go back 2 more episodes and you can go back to the Promise Resource Network YouTube channel and check that out. You can also find it on their Facebook. I just have a harder time. Their YouTube channel is just easier for me to follow. Go on their YouTube channel, click videos, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So, um, the first week I talked about the root chakra, the Muladhara chakra. Last week, I talked about the Svadhisthana chakra, the sacral chakra. And today, I want to share about 2 of these energy centers. I'm going to break them down separately and then how they can work together. And where they can work together is just this magical space of human. So, um, and I'll probably go more into that space, that connection in this week's expansion. So make sure you check that out on Thursday. So this energy center that I wanted to talk about today is the Manipura chakra. It's called the solar plexus, and it's like 2 inches above the belly button, below the heart. I see it as kind of underneath that xiphoid process, which is such a weird name for a body part, but it's that like weird cartilage thing that's at the bottom of your sternum. You never want to push on that too hard. It'll hurt. Don't do that. Um, but anyway, so this energy center, when we look at our physical body, if we have a lot of indigestion, right, that kind of like fiery, burning, the acidy kind of stomach, um, challenges with our ribs sometimes, depending. Um, and you'll know more about that in a minute. But the solar plexus is a part of like our higher digestive system, and so if we've had a trauma in this area, it can throw off our digestive system. And most of us have had a trauma in this area. Most of us have at some point been a kid who was being in our expression and we were told that it was wrong. And maybe we were shamed or blamed for it. And so we started to hold that in. And then in our conditioned, programmed human nature, we're taught to go be produce, go be produce, go be produce. Just keep going, like hamster on the wheel. Don't stop, get it. And that's not natural. Like nothing is made to go that long. Like we're made to go and pause, restore, go, pause, restore. Like that's the cycle of our natural state of being. So when we are when we hold in our natural expression, say our joy, like from this childhood trauma, and then instead of expressing that out, we express all this energy of like, I gotta hurry up and get everything done. It throws our system, our physical, mental, and emotional system, like it throws us out of whack. Like it completely throws us out of whack. We are not made to hold in our joy. We're not made to hold in our personality. We're not made to be a personality that we're not. We are made to be unique individuals. And our culture has programmed us to only express ourselves in ways that are um, acceptable. And that acceptableness is based on someone's opinion, right? It's like you go to some places, they might eat horses. In other countries, that's awful. In some countries, they eat cows. In other countries, they don't because that's awful. So it's like, it's just different. So, anyway, um, this energy center, this Manipura chakra, it's this fiery nature within us. And to me, it's where we shine our light. It's where we show up as our true selves. It's where I consider it to be the center of joy. And this joy center, I don't know about y'all, but every time, every time I yawn on here, I'm not tired. It's so weird. Anyway, but I feel like our joy has been stifled for sure because we're too busy. We're too stressed out. We don't feel safe. And if I don't feel safe and I feel stressed and I don't feel like I have time, the last thing I have time for is play. So just kind of feel into your life and your experience of how this may have shown up for you because it's common in our culture. So, for you, it may have shown up in you had to maybe start work. Maybe you had to get a job when you were a young teenager. Maybe you had to help pay the bills. Maybe the household chores and duties and making sure everything was good and in alignment was on your shoulders. Um, Maybe at an early age you were gifted at something and your school or family were what are you going to do next? What college are you going to go to? What are you going to do next? And da, 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 you know, um, maybe getting raises and good grades were more important in your upbringing than anything else. Maybe you were a really funny kid and you made a joke that upset somebody. Um, and you never told the joke again. Or, um, which is the story, like all of that, and then some. So there's a statement. So, a way that we can kind of move through these experiences is to allow ourselves to be playful, um, to give ourselves time to not always be in go mode, but to like relax. When I think about a fire, and you take that big bellow and you're stoking the fire of that, the breath of the bellow, it's like the big accordion. The air blows out, but you got to breathe that air back in. Same thing with this energy center. We can't keep blowing the air out all the time. We have to take the breath in. That's the pause. So, the statement that we can um, work with to bring balance to this energy center is the statement of I do. Because again, this is a big action energy center. It starts to digest food. It starts to, the stomach is there. Like that's when it's like acids and breakdown and like we are going to make this work. We're going to take nourishment from this, like it's a really important part. So there's a lot of things that it does do that we do that we are. And oftentimes in our culture, we're also taught like when we introduce ourselves, it's like, hi, I'm Jane. Well, what do you do? I mean, like that, it's like we have to tell what we do. And And I always would stumble on that because I'm like, I do a million things, but what do you want to like? What about my doing do you want to know? You want to know what I get paid for? Well, I mean, I get paid for a few different things. Do you want to know what I get paid for the most for? Like, so kids are asked, what do you want to do when you grow up? What do you want to be when you grow up? And so we don't even have a real connection to a balanced space of this part of ourselves. And so there's some statements that we can say to ourselves to kind of allow ourselves to pause and bring balance. So for example, you know, if I'm always saying, I do everything. God, I'm so tired. I do everything. How about I do nothing? Or um, I do create. I do love. I do peace. I do human. um, I do release. I do receive. I do. That felt good. I do release. I do receive. I do receive. That one feels good. Just saying that one over and over again. I do receive. I receive what anything and everything that I want and need. I do receive. I do receive. I do receive. That feels good. So when we can allow ourselves to say that, right? I do receive. I do receive. I do receive. Then we, our bodies and our minds are like, okay, cool. That's true. That's true. That's true. You're right. You're right. And we start to relax. So our nervous system like settles down. So that means our stomach isn't upset as much because we're not like in high stress mode. I do enough. How about that one? No one ever tells us, oh, you do enough. But we do. We do the best we can. That's enough. I do enough. I do more than enough. I do enough. I do receive. I do more than enough. Kind of like let ourselves say it easy. And then I do create. Well, and that makes me feel like, well, instead of me just doing what other people tell me to do, that I'm doing what I want to do. And I want to create. I want to live a creative life. I want to live an inspired life. And I want to create my life based on an inspirational space. So saying these things over and over again as a mantra can shut the mind off that may say the other things like, hurry up, you don't have enough time, you got to do more, you got to do more, you got to do more, which throws a wobble in that energy center. It throws a wobble in our body. You feel it in your stomach. It throws a wobble off in your mind because we can't think of anything else. So the statement of I do, blah, 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 fill in the blank, is really great to kind of bring balance into this space. Um, I have created this. So if you have the ability to take a screenshot of this. It's all the things that you could say I do with. I do create, I do love, I do deserve, I do receive, I do inspire, I do peace. And I hope it's not backward. If it's backward, hey, sorry. Um, whatever. I tried. Um, I do choose. Oftentimes we're made to feel like we have no choice. Or you have to choose this one thing because it's the only thing you can do. Well, we actually have a choice. We have free will. And that's a really liberating concept. So that's my invitation to kind of work with that energy center. Quickly moving to the next energy center because I could spend years and years on this one. So that's why I'm putting it in with this one so that I can stay really concise with it. It's the heart center, the energy center. It's called Anahata in Sanskrit, which means the unstruck chords, the unstruck sound. It's the space between the notes in music. And if we have unprocessed grief, if we have fear of being loved, if we've been rejected or abandoned, very similar to the root that I talked about in the first week, our hearts will close off. We won't want to be vulnerable. We're scared to be vulnerable. You might have manifested this in your physical body. Breast cancer. Imagine all the people in the world who've had breast cancer, who've had unresolved grief, who won't process grief, who haven't had time to. May have a lot of lung issues. chronic lung issues can form into cancers. If you have shoulder issues, like upper shoulder or the upper thoracic area of the spine, even down the arms and into the hands, carpal tunnel, excuse me, these areas are related to this heart energy center, you know, and if I've received a physical trauma, maybe I've gotten hit in my chest or in my back, or I've broken my arm a few times, you know, that throws everything off just a little bit. And kind of knowing that, we can start to work with that. So a lot of people have a resistance to love. And it sucks. It sucks that humans would have a resistance to their true nature, because our true nature to me is love. And this resistance to love changes our ability to be in relationships. If I don't want to love someone, or if I'm afraid to love someone, then I'm only going to go so deep in a relationship. With my friendships, with my partners, with my family, it's going to be really shallow. And that shallowness shows up in our breathing. We can't take a deep breath. Ah, see, it's all related. Everything is a mirror of itself in some way, shape, or form. And this heart center, this is how we love everything. And I think in our culture that we're so often shown things in the news, things we don't like, things that are awful, things that suck, pain, 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 and all the things. That it's not necessarily easy to just sit in a space of love. Like, it takes a lot of focus. And that's where these affirmations come in really handy, because it's a way to get the mind to focus back into the body. It's a way to get the mind to get focus and reconnect with the spirit. So these affirmations can work really, really, really well to align and balance these energy centers. So the statement that can go with this heart energy center. So I'll get back to that. So a statement that goes with this is I love. So I love. And you could end at that. Just I love. The end. I do. I love. I do love. I've talked to a lot of people and they're like, oh, I can't love again, or I have these walls around my heart. And I'm like, well, that's what you're telling yourself then. And so it is. But to tell ourselves that I do love, like I love, then it tells my body that it's safer. I feel safer in my body to love. And then if I feel safer in my body to love, then I'm more likely to have healthier relationships with others. I've had many relationships with things in bottles and drugs and people that were not loving or kind to me. And when I look back, that was at a time when I wasn't loving or kind to myself. Like, if I'm honest, that's what it was. I wasn't loving myself whatsoever. And I knew that I loved some things. I loved people, but I never felt full. So it's a way that we can start to feel love, is when we focus on the feeling of love. I don't say like I love this because I love the earth because it's we have sunny days. That means that I wouldn't like the sunny days. So anyway, so when we say the statement of I love, to bring balance to the heart, for me, what if we said like I love life? I love life. If I keep saying I love life over and over, then I might be able to tap into unresolved, unprocessed grief for maybe those that have transitioned that I didn't allow myself to grieve for. And I'm doing it through a pathway of gratitude, basically. Because if I'm saying I love life and then I remember my friend that died, it touches my heart in a way. I might cry. Well, love does that. Love, we cry with love. Like, it's good. Um, and I love life. I love earth. I love this earth. I love this plane of existence. I love this. I love the trees. I love life. I love this earth. I love earth. I love life. I love joy. I love joy. I know I'm starting to feel more love and joy right now in my heart. I love joy. I love joy. I do. I love joy. I love life. I love earth. I love joy. Oh God, I love joy so much. I love peace. I love peace. Man, I love peace. I love peace. I love harmony. I love harmony. I love I love movement. If I love movement, then maybe I love chaos. Because that's what chaos is. It's a lot of movement. So okay, you know what I do? I love chaos. I love change. I love new beginnings. I love new opportunities. I love prosperity. I love vitality. I love life and I love vitality. I love energy. I love energy. I love joy and I love energy. I love love. I love human. I love humans. I love. I love. So imagine saying these things to ourselves every day when we look in the mirror, or we're looking at a friend, we're having a conversation with a friend, and we're like, what do you love? Tell me what you love. Tell me about love in your life. Fill in the blank. I love blank. And like make these conversations, make them with ourselves, with each other. Um, but by bringing those words and speaking them out loud, it helps to heal this body and this mind and the spirit. Spirit's already healed, but it deepens the connection with spirit, and that's what makes it feel healed. Anyway, um, I like a little shorty curls right there. I don't understand it. Hmm, interesting. Anyway, so you know, I love knowledge. How's that one? That's bringing the mind into the game. It's the mind acknowledging itself that it loves, that it knows things. I love knowledge. I love knowledge. Knowledge is infinite. That means I'm never going to know it all. So by default, I give myself grace by not knowing everything. I love knowledge. I love learning. I love transformation. I love I love life. So now, if I've said these together, I do I do create. I do love. I do surrender. I do receive. I do deserve with I love life. I love receiving. I love giving. I love transformation. I love love. When we can use them together and when we believe these words that we've spoken to be true, then our actions will be more in alignment with that. If our actions are more in alignment with that, then that means that I am acting in love. I am being in love. I am being in joy. I am being in peace. And I feel open about it. If I'm in that space, I'm not going to go get wasted. Like I'm not, because I feel full. I feel fulfilled. I'm not going to do self harm. I'm not. Not if I say these things and I believe them. But it takes that time to be with these energy centers and the potency of these unseen aspects of ourselves and see how it relates to our physical body, our mental body, our spiritual body, our emotional body, to really start working with them all together as this oneness, then everything that I do will be in alignment with the one. The one being what? Great spirit, God, source, the wordless wonder. So I'll show you the I love card that I had made. So many on here. So if you can take a screenshot, take it. I really hope it's not backward. If it is, sorry. Yeah, just take a screenshot, pause, screenshot. So where these two mix, where I've talked about, I want to touch on that and then I'll dive more into that probably in the expansions after this. Um, it's it's the act of the courageous heart. When we um, be, when we be from our solar plexus and our heart, we're acting in the space of a courageous heart. We are acting in a space of safety and vulnerability. We are acting as our inner child. We're acting as our um, higher self, really. And by acting, I mean like showing up. It's our personality, it's archetype that we're choosing to embody. And with that, like, what a difference in this world, because then we're not living in this way of being that's gotta go to work, gotta do the thing, gotta, I hate life, gotta, and I hate it. Rather, we're like, I get to do this life thing. I love that I get to do this life thing. That feels so different. If I show up like that and I feel that way, others are going to feel it. If others feel it, it might elicit that in them. And then they leave and they might be carrying that energy with them. That I get to carry this energy. I get to live my life. I get to go to this place. I get to go to that place. I get to meet these people today. I get to meet new people today. I get to. And there's this energy behind that that keeps me healthier and weller than when I was just trying to go be and produce to make others happy. And what I'm noticing is that as I'm living in this more aligned space, that what I am doing truly brings people joy, whether it's because I'm more of service, they like to see me enjoy. People typically like to see other people happy. Like they say that we like to, that misery loves company. Yeah, well, so does joy. It's true. Everything likes its company. Everything likes it. Love loves love. Love loves being with love. Hate loves being with hate. Like, yeah, so misery loves company. So does love and joy. So my invitation is to see, notice if we have like stomach digestive issues. Notice if we have um, slumped shoulders, if we're protecting our heart. Notice if we're able to open up our heart. Notice if our food is easy to digest, and without any judgment, just notice these things and see if using just these affirmations work as a tool to bring forth some balance and harmony in these areas. Why not? I mean, like, what's the worst case scenario? Is that you say you do things and that you love things, and that what worst case scenario is that you feel exactly the same? Ooh, right? Better yet, you might feel better. Hey, you know? Um, and it's really interesting. I know that a lot of people don't believe in like energy centers in the body, and it cracks me up because like then I guess they can't believe in like gravity. I guess they can't believe in sound because we don't see that. But people are, oh, but you can hear it. But I can see the ball drop to the ground. I can see what gravity does. There's an energy behind everything. Everything is energy. So I feel that if when we know about these energy centers and their relationship with our body, our mind, and our spirit, then we can work with our bodies or our mind or our spirit or all of that to bring forth a weller body, a healthier body, a more aligned experience, just so that life is just more easeful. Because why not? Y'all, like we've been through enough. So those are what I wanted to share today is the Manipura and the Anahata chakra, which is the solar plexus and the heart energy centers, and how they relate to these parts of our body. I mean, again, imagine these are like little donuts of spinning energy. And I didn't tell you the colors. I told you the colors in the last 2 weeks. So if you imagine as you say these I do statements with the solar plexus, you can imagine the color yellow. You can imagine the sunshine pouring down on you. You can have some yellow flowers around if you're feeling like not very joyful. The heart, if you want to imagine green, which again makes sense, right? Lungs, green. Think of trees, they're green usually because they feed our lungs, which is the blood of the heart. It keeps the heart going. So you can imagine yourself in a forest or get your ass in a forest, get your feet on the earth, and you can use green crystals if that is your jam. Like just getting these colors. You can also use pink for this one, like a lighter pink. that resonates for some people. So I just wanted to share that, and maybe it'll be of service. So I hope it is. And if this was of service, share this video with people you know. Like just be like, you know what? Tell me your thoughts on it. How does this show up in your life? This is how it shows up in my life. Like you can make what I am sharing and expand it in a conversation with someone else. So, speaking of expansions, tune in on Thursday, and I'm going to go into the spiritual and expand the spiritual relationship between this solar plexus and heart chakra thing. And how they merge together into what I consider to be almost like the sacred heart. So, tune in. And I love y'all. Thank you so much for tuning into this. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, keep breathing, and tune in on Thursday and we'll expand on this. Okay.